Hello everyone, this is Moody Owl, and I'm sure you've seen plenty of Poppy Playtime gameplay, so for today's video, I'm going to be explaining my lore of my OC Honey Pie, the puppy bear. If you don't know what Poppy Playtime is, you should definitely watch the gameplay or play it yourself. For a quick summary, Poppy Playtime is a horror video game where you, the player, used to work at a company called Playtime Co. and return to an abandoned toy factory after being sent a letter from staff who seemed to disappear 10 years ago. I gotta say, I really liked Chapter 3 and it was so much scarier than Chapter 2, and I thought that was pretty scary. I really want to know what happened to each smiling critter, and Catnap himself was absolutely terrifying. At first I was theorizing that Ollie, the kid who was helping the player throughout the chapter, was one of the smiling critters, but I could definitely be wrong about that. I'm going to be honest, originally when I seen the smiling critters, I did find them rather creepy with their black eye sockets and white eyes, but eventually I grew to like them. I think my favorites have to be Hoppy Hopscotch, Crafty Corn, and Picky Piggy. Now after watching Chapter 3 of Poppy's Playtime, I just couldn't help it but finally redesign my OC named Honey Pie the Puppy Bear. For a quick summary, I made Honey Pie when Chapter 1 was first introduced, and I just couldn't help it because I just love making toy OCs, or just OCs in general. I have a lot of them. Now with all that being said, let's get into the speed paint of this video. First thing is, when I originally made Honey Pie, originally she was only a teddy bear, but in Chapter 2 when it came out, I redesigned her again and turned her into a half puppy, half bear. And I'll also explain why I decided to change that. Now for her backstory. Playtime Co. wanted to make a big cuddly teddy bear for their younger audiences, but decided against it so they can stand out much more. Plus they also had the idea to make a best friend for Cat Bee, puppy bear, Cat Bee. So they decided on Honey Pie. She was marketed as a big fluffy teddy bear puppy, will always be there for you, great to play with, and amazing for tea parties. That's why later in the video I gave her a nice big old tea party hat. She wasn't as sold as much as Huggy Wuggy or Kissy Missy, but she was still pretty beloved by little kids. Now for when the game itself takes place, I am imagining Honey Pie debuting in Chapter 2 of the game. She would have tears on her, she would be a bit dirty, and she would be visually shaking. When she sees the player, she would cower in fear at first before recognizing them and tackling them down in a hug. She would be very terrified of both Mommy Longlegs and, of course, the prototype. Throughout the chapter, she'd be following you around, glad to have someone in company, and would at least try to help you. I can see a part where the player accidentally loses Honey Pie and believes that she's now gone. However, in Chapter 3, she'll arrive with Kissy Missy and Poppy herself. She will embrace you and starts licking on your face like an actual dog. Originally, I was debating whether she should or shouldn't have a voice, but then I remembered Kissy Missy doesn't talk, and yet she has her own little voice board like the rest of the characters, so I was like, why not? I might as well add it. I imagine her having a very cheery and exciteful voice, mentioning Honey and both her friend Cat Bee. But then as you continue to press the button, she begins to say rather strange things. I'm debating one day animating that myself and voicing it, but what do you think? That is pretty much the gist I have of her backstory. In the video, I decided to keep her blue in her color palette and decided to change her fur color from a orangey pink to a nice soft yellow. I tried to make her look as cute as cuddly as possible. I'm actually excited to see what will happen in Chapter 4. I especially want to see what the prototype looks like, because he seems very, very menacing, and I want to know what will happen. And hopefully there will be like a boss fight between the prototype and the player. And here is Honey Pie's design. Let me know what you think in the comments, what you think of Chapter 3. Thank you so much for watching the video, and stay amazing, you stars.